So people that think that life begins at conception, well, I've said that's how God will shame these people. I think a lot of these people are not Christians. They claimed it's just like any other organization that's come along and it's claimed itself as something to push an agenda, serve the science, okay? God will shame all of this. And of course, they will come along and try to fight different Bible verses. They don't have a leg to stand on because they don't lean on the Spirit. That's how you can tell. So they want to disregard the breath. And the reason I keep bringing this up, but I have more, because those people, but I don't think they want to read the Bible. They just want to, they just want to keep fighting for their narrative. But see, the book of Job, they should think about if God was saying that to them. The science should really consider the book of Job, especially chapters 38, 39, and 40. All of the experts really should take understanding of that to know their place. Because now that they've decided when life begins, well, yeah, God's not going to have that. The reason being is because, well, there's a couple things here. I said yesterday that the only thing that was here before God even formed the earth was, well, it was darkness. It was spirit, God, spirit and water. That's it, spirit and water. So just look at it like this, okay? This was here before the earth was formed, and this. That was the air. It's what you can't see. It's God. It's why spirit is the air, the wind, and the breath, okay? And this is hugely important because there is no air in the womb. There's no air in the womb. And one of the last organs to be developed is the lungs. Everything with the placenta bypasses the lungs. It does. Look into it. It's true. This is not about abortion. I'm way past abortion. The science is doing this because they want to do their gene editing. They want to be, they want to be God. I've said this for years now, okay? That's what this is about. But that's why I say they're going to be shamed in this because the science is limited. And the reason they're limited, and I think a lot of people are because they don't seek spirit. They don't really consider these things. They just want to throw Bible passages out and, like fake Christians would, or just like, and it's like, no, read the book of Job so you know your place. The womb has no air in it. So even though I'm not advocating, just kill anything at any, no. Because obviously the later you go, there's premature babies that they fill their lungs with like suffering. I forget how to, or I don't know. I pronounce it wrong, but it's something to inflate the lungs if they're premature to try to keep them alive. So obviously that late term you have to stay away. But being that there's no air in the womb, and the lungs are one of the last organs in the final weeks of gestation that are formed. That should have been your indication because here is God. God is the air. And when there's no air in the womb, it means they have no breath of Him. It is all just the biological process. So that's why for all those that want to turn God's word into a biological process, know your place and read Job 38, 39, and 40. So the ice is an example of the form, okay? But before there was any form, even the earth form, there was the water, and I hate using steam, but you get it, because you can see steam. We can't see the air, but it's evaporation. So all of these processes being water, which is why we're mostly made up of water, okay? It all ties together. But you need to understand there's a biological process that takes place, and why the science is limited, and the fake Christians, they claim they're Christian, they want to disregard that, no, there is a breath of life. It's a breath of God, which is why God lays Job out in every way, shape, and form. Poor Job, but that was for all of our benefits, to realize you do not Do not carry on like you know anything. Do you know it's the time when the wild goats of the rock bring forth or cast their young? I mean, it's everything. It's everything to do with what is life? What is life? And he even says, do you know what the breath of the earth is? That's why I keep saying, to ignore breath, I look at you as an imposter. An imposter Christian, some of them. There are so many places. Out of whose womb came the ice? Out of whose womb? And the hoary frost of heaven, who hath gendered it? Yeah, so see, this is the danger. When man says, oh no, we know the biological process, God's sitting there like, yeah, yet you think you know anything, but you disregard breath. Not a good idea. One of the verses in here, it's I think it's 38:14 of Job. It says, it is turned as clay to seal, and they stand as a garment. And this is literally talking about the forming of the clay. Like I said, it's the forming process, okay? It's the forming process. You can call it life all you want. When nothing else on this planet was created without that breath of God, that air, and there is no air in the womb, and those lungs can't receive it yet, then you take it up with God. He expected people to understand, to put this together. But the clay under the seal, okay, where is it? Oh, I don't have it up here, but it is. It's the clay under the seal. It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. What this is referring to, the forming of clay under a seal, is a process of shaping and imprinting, much like how a child is formed in the womb. At birth, the impression has a unique identity. Yeah, cells do not have a unique identity. You don't even know whether they're male or female. So put it together. Put all these pieces together. It's all here. The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. God is saying man cannot even begin to understand. But that's why he showed you Adam. He showed you this is what the form needs to look like. Not cells. This is what the form needs to look like, so you know what murder is. Again, this has nothing to do with abortion. Don't get it twisted. They changed when life begins because of CRISPR and gene editing. So, any of the false Christians that want to keep coming after me, just keep exposing yourselves for who you are. Something else from Job is 12. Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place, that it might take hold of the skirts of the earth? Have you commanded the morning since your days began? There's so many. Every single verse in here is really something that all the people that want to say life begins with cells, the book of Job is really written for you. Do you know when the mountain goats give birth? Do you observe the calving of the does? Can you number the months that they fulfill? And do you know the time when they give birth? When they crouch, bring forth their offspring, and are delivered of their young. Their young ones become strong, and they grow up in the open. In the open, they go out and do not return to them. It's all about, do you understand how the eagle, why it builds its nest up high? Everything, nothing can be a fully complete life until that breath of God, which is what we live under, is given to them. And since there's no air in the womb and the lungs can't receive it yet, then the science is in for a very rude awakening. And so are many other people. You were supposed to understand the breath of God. It's the most important part of life. There is no life without it.